Have you ever wondered what the world's smartest, most forward-thinking investors are really buying? Forget the latest tech stock or crypto craze. It's something much, much older. Let's dig in and uncover what might just be the ultimate asset. And we're not just talking about any investor. We're talking about one of the architects of our digital world, Bill Gates. So it begs a really fascinating question, doesn't it?
That's right. While we've all been focused on his work in tech and global health, Bill Gates has been quietly becoming America's top farmer. And the scale of this is just mind-blowing. 270,000 acres. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that number. To put it in perspective, that's an area larger than New York City. This isn't some casual hobby. This is a massive strategic move.
So, what's the secret? What does he know that the rest of us don't? Why is one of the sharpest minds on the planet shifting his focus from microchips to potato fields? Let's peel back the layers and figure out what's really going on here. Okay, so the first piece of the puzzle is actually pretty simple, at least if you're a big-time investor. Farmland is now being seen as its own powerful asset class, right up there with stocks, bonds, and real estate. It's kind of like the new gold. All asset class really means is just a category of investments. But what makes farmland so incredibly attractive right now is that it plays by a completely different set of rules than everything else. Now look at this comparison, because this is where it gets really interesting. A stock, right? It's an intangible idea, a number on a screen. But farmland, you can literally stand on it. You can touch it. It's real. It tends to have low volatility. And here's the kicker. Its value doesn't automatically tank just because the stock market is having a bad day. For an investment portfolio, that's like a superpower. So yeah, farmland has this killer 1-2 punch. First, you get a steady, reliable income from leasing the land to farmers, and at the exact same time, the land itself is growing in value. Why? Well, because they're not making any more of it. It's a finite resource with a constantly growing demand, which makes it a fantastic hedge against inflation and a brilliant way to diversify your investments. But here's the thing, the financial side of this, that's only half the story. The other half is, well, it's a lot darker and it's way more urgent. It's about a terrifying truth lurking just beneath the surface of our global food supply. The United Nations projects that by the year 2050, there will be nearly 10 billion people on this planet. Think about that for a second. That's over 2 billion more mouths to feed than we have today. And to feed all those people, experts estimate we're going to have to increase our global food production by as much as 70%. 70. And we have to do that with a system that is already showing some really serious signs of strain. And just when you think it couldn't get more challenging, here's the real gut punch. While demand for food is exploding, our ability to produce it is actually shrinking. The UN is warning that one-third of the world's soil is already degraded from erosion, nutrient loss, basically from being overworked. This chart right here just lays out the problem so clearly. More people, less productive land to go around. The amount of farmable land available for each person on Earth is steadily going down. It's a simple and frankly pretty scary equation. And it's not just about the land. What about water? Agriculture is already the thirstiest industry on the planet, using a massive 70% of our fresh water. And that's a resource that's becoming dangerously scarce in many of the world's most important breadbaskets. So with all this pressure, you can absolutely see why big money is flooding into agriculture. It's a huge opportunity. But this whole trend, well, it's a double-edged sword, and it's creating some really complex consequences for society. We need to look at both the promise and the peril. You know, on one hand, this wave of investment could be a really good thing. It can provide the cash needed for incredible new sustainable farming technologies. But on the other hand, there's a serious downside. It can push small family farmers, the backbone of these communities for generations, right off their land. And it threatens to consolidate control of our entire food system into fewer and fewer powerful hands. And what that really looks like on the ground is this. As investors with deep pockets start buying up land, prices just skyrocket. Local farmers simply can't compete. This weakens rural economies and can even shift the focus away from growing food for local people to growing high-value crops for export. And all of it raises this fundamental and pretty scary concern about who's really in control of our most essential resource. And that brings us to the ultimate question, the one this trend forces all of us to confront. As land becomes just another financial asset, what does the future of our food system actually look like? Well, the future seems to be shaped by three major forces. First, technology is going to play a massive role. We're talking AI, drones, precision farming, all trying to get more from every acre. Second, governments are going to have to step in and figure out the rules for ownership, water rights, and sustainability. And third, there's a growing sustainability imperative. Even the big investors are starting to get that you can't just exploit the land forever. Regenerative farming isn't just good for the planet, it's absolutely essential for the long-term value of the asset itself. And that leaves us with this final, critical question. This story of what's happening to farmland isn't just about markets and returns. It's about control. It's about who gets to decide how we use the very land that keeps us alive. As farmland becomes a financial product, who is it truly meant to feed? Humanity or portfolios? That's the tension that will define the future of food for all of us.